Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone with your favorite host, King NPV. You know that's me, baby. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about what might be next for Killer Kross. And now that his WWE contract has expired, we're going to be watching a clip from an interview that he did on the Ariel Helwani show earlier today. There's links in the description for all the videos and stuff that we're going to actually be covering today. We're also going to be talking about Dana White, UFC basically leaving ESPN, moving over to Paramount Plus for a deal worth $7.7 billion for 7 years. So $1.1 billion a year, moving UFC from ESPN to Paramount Plus to basically get rid of their pay-per-view format. We'll break down that deal. And then we're also going to be talking about the Cleveland Browns QB Conundrum, considering now that Shedeur Sanders is now injured and Deshaun Watson is seeming to be healthier. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to take a brief moment to thank all of you guys, my subscribers, for being a part of the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. We are on a quest for 12,000 subs, and I really do appreciate you guys for being a part of this. Now, without further ado, let's get into it.
You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, Killer Kross, formerly known as Karrion Kross, real name is Kevin. I don't know his last name, or I might butcher it. Went on the Ariel Helwani show and discussed releasing a documentary video where he basically talks about his WWE contract ending. You can find the link for that video in the description as well. Go check it out. It's the one thing that stood out to me about the interview with Killer Kross, or not the interview with Killer Kross, but that video that he did with his documentary, is that Killer Kross is a genuine human being. He is a very kind human being. And I think that his personal issues, because obviously he, from everything that he's basically said about WWE, he loves the company. He wants to be there. It's just, I'll be completely honest with you, the main event scene is just too overcrowded. Way too overcrowded, and I'll break down my thoughts on that after the video. But without further ado, let's get into this clip from the Ariel Helwani show, where Killer Kross basically talks about his WWE departure and what might be not what might be next, but his thoughts on the entire ordeal.
Radio show in 2000 before I went to Syracuse University. It was called In the Ring on CFMP 1280 AM, midnights on Fridays. I have never asked a pro wrestler the question that I'm about to ask you. And the reason why I've never done so is because I have so much respect for what you guys do and for the history of the business. And all that stuff. I think there are certain questions that you shouldn't ask. I have respect for what you do and what it's all about.
I appreciate that.
But I do feel like I can ask you a certain amount of questions, and I need to be as sort of pointed as possible, okay? Of course. Are you working on this right now?
No, I'm not answering questions today as a character.
This is legit.
Yes.
This is Kevin.
Yep.
Okay. What you put out on your YouTube channel on Sunday are certain questions that you shouldn't ask. I have respect for what you do and what it's all about.
I appreciate that.
But I do feel like I need to ask you a certain amount of questions, and I need to be as sort of pointed as possible, okay?
Sure, of course.
Are you working on this right now?
No, I'm not answering questions today as a character.
This is legit.
Yes.
This is Kevin.
Yep.
Okay. What you put out on your YouTube channel on Sunday evening, a riveting documentary that I urge everyone to see. You almost have about 800,000 views as of right now in 3 days. That's incredible. You said that your WWE contract came to an end on August 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And as of right now, you have not re-signed with them. You do not have a new deal with them.
No.
Is that accurate?
That is accurate, yeah.
You're not working us on that front?
No.
And I feel bad asking you that. I've never used that word in an interview to the best of my knowledge. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Because the reason why I feel the need to ask it is because of the Seth Rollins thing that just happened, right? You understand why.
Of course.
And I'm sure you've seen people say this is a work. In fact, people have said your appearance on today's show is validation that it's a work. They think that because you're coming here, that means this has to be a work.
No, I mean, I was planning on doing a book tour and doing media. I've been doing a lot of media. ECW Publishing, the publisher of the book, has been helping me with that. Being able to be on your platform, all the people we reach, like, there was no anticipation that this was going to happen on the way to do the book tour. So that kind of, this is just what's happening. So
how did we get here? How is this possible?
Well, I mean, truth of the matter is, you've already stated, my contract was up last week. I never actually received a contract, like an offer, until last week. So,
do you remember what day? So your contract expired August 10th, which I do believe was Sunday.
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday off the top of my head.
Okay.
I got the offer. I wanted to know how they came to the valuation of that offer. Just wanted, some information, some metrics, some analytics that's supporting to, hey, this is how we got here. When I inquired about that, they were unwilling to provide that information and told me I had 24 hours to agree to the offer or they were rescinding it. So, the next day, We talk. I ask if they have the information. They don't. And I said, I can't make an informed decision without the information. And I'd like to keep the dialogue open. And they rescinded the offer. And that's actually where we're at.
Wow.
So, and it's not meant, this isn't like, I know how a lot of people feel when they make an exit, right? I can empathize with everybody's experience. Every experience exiting the company is different, right? This isn't like to disparage WWE, but because there's so many convoluted stories out there going on, and actually even to some degree can affect our livelihood of what we're supposed to be doing afterwards. People don't want to reach out because they're not sure if they're tampering and stuff like that. The goal has always been to be with WWE. My wife and I still want to be like with WWE. Like I'm still at I'm at the table for conversations. I did not step out of the conversation. You know what I mean? So, you know, we still want to be there. We still want to work it out.
Okay, so a few things to obviously follow up on. I've never heard of the, hey, here's an offer, you have 24 hours, and if you don't respond or take it, we're taking it away. Have you ever heard this being done before?
I haven't, no.
Have you asked other guys, like, is this how it goes when a contract is up?
I haven't asked anybody about.
So basically, and this is why I'm saying, like, Karrion seems like he loves WWE. He loves everything that it's provided for him. Basically, in the interview, he eventually talks about how during COVID he was unemployed with WWE and he was able to take over some of his family's mortgages. Just talking about the human being that Karrion is, and the passion. Like he seems like he's genuine I could see it in his face. He's like genuine when he talks about the fact that like his dream has been to be with the WWE, and for things to be at this point where. I don't know if he'll refer to it here in this clip because we're going to continue watching it right now. When he got brought back, he had direct contact with Triple H. And then when his contract was up for renewal, rather than dealing with Triple H directly, which I still think a lot of the top name superstars still do, they appointed a representative to talk to him. Excuse me. And basically, there's like a middleman, and Karrion doesn't have an agent. He wants to deal directly with WWE, and it just seems like he's heartbroken from the way that they've treated him, right? And honestly, I can see why the fans have gotten behind him. Like just watching everything that he's like put out there, it's similar to Zack Ryder, who got over with the fans. Because of his YouTube platform, like he got over with the fans online and like they came over to support him, but WWE just didn't see the value in Zack Ryder as a main event figure. Mainly because there was just a lot of big names already in the main event scene at the time. For example, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. I think Taker was still around a little bit. Who else? Edge, I think, was still around. We had Daniel Bryan. There was Finn Balor was hot at that point. Kevin Owens. There were already a lot of names in the main event scene. Right now, it looks like WWE is in that same situation with Karrion Kross, who has managed to actually get himself over with the fans and like get himself to be likable, be a top merchant seller, similar to how Jeff Hardy basically did it back in the day, right? They weren't planning on putting the world title or the WWE title on Jeff when he became the champion, but because of all these external factors, they basically felt obligated. Kross has Paul Heyman's support. And that's great because if you're a Paul Heyman guy, you're usually going to end up doing well. But right now, with the main event scene being crowded as it is, you got Drew McIntyre, you got Cody Rhodes, you got Jey Uso, you got CM Punk, who looks like he's frequenting a little bit more often. You still got, I think we still got 4 more months of John Cena. Roman Reigns comes in from time to time. You got Braun Breaker, who's an up-and-coming star. You got Dominic Mysterio, who I know people think is a mid-card talent, but in my honest opinion, he's more of a main eventer at this point in his career. You still got Damian Priest. That's just the men. You got Rhea Ripley. You got Liv Morgan, who's out with an injury, but you got Io Sky, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss. Like, the main event scene, it's just so crowded right now that I just don't see where they could fit Kross in at this point right now with his potential. Let's continue watching this interview.
Their particular experiences now.
That seems a little odd, right? I mean, negotiations myself, I've never been given a 24 hours deadline, and if not, we're taking it away. Why do you think that was the play? Why was that the tone?
I don't know.
Was it less than what you were making?
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, like when a valuation is being suggested, there has to be something where people can go to information-wise and say, hey, this is how we came to this.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, this is what we think makes sense. I asked to see that information. I still haven't seen it. I want to see it. Let's look at it together and let's decide whether this is appropriate or not. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Was it a departure from what you were thinking? Like if we would have talked and said, like, what are you hoping for? Was this way off?
I didn't necessarily have I wasn't thinking about it like that. I was thinking, let's assess everything together and see where we're at. I want to make sure that this is actually reflective, fairly, of, you know, what we have information-wise to collect and look at. That's all.
Is this, obviously we know this is your second go around with them. Was this the first time that you were in a renewal situation? Because we know that the first time around, you know, they released you, right? And then they brought you back. But was this the first time they're like, hey, you get a chance to see how the renewal process goes? Was there another deal in the past where you re-upped?
No, there were no other deals. I mean, like the contract, you know, contract expired. We talked a little bit before that. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
No.
How close were you to actually taking this deal within 24 hours?
Impossible.
Okay.
Because you can't, like I had explained to them, I had said, like, there's no opportunity here to make an informed decision without looking at the information together. So you can't do that. Like your whole livelihood is based on this idea with no information to support it. I just wanted to get there. I wanted to keep the dialogue open. So, and I still do, you know, like.
And just curious, are you speaking through an agent, a manager, or is it direct? You to them?
Me, for sure.
Okay.
I came to the table to talk.
And specifically, if you don't mind me asking, who are you speaking to when you're going through this?
It's a rep that the company appointed to have a conversation with. I would have loved to have spoke to either of my bosses, but this
Would that be Paul Levesque?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Like when my wife and I came back, Hunter had called us, and we did our deals over the phone together. So I was just under the assumption that we were going to do that again. We did them at the same time, and yeah, like typically I would not put somebody in front of me to talk to Hunter. I feel comfortable to talk to him, you know, in person. We've always talked that way. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I believe I read in here. I believe you said, "Are you ready to come home?" Right?
Yes.
The first time.
Yeah.
You did not get that, and it is worth noting. There's another human being involved in this. Your wife.
Yeah.
Who means the world to you. She's in the same boat, right? Her deal was up August 10th, and she has not been re-signed.
Yeah.
When they made that offer, was it for the two of you?
Nothing. She had nothing. There was no offer to her.
Nothing.
No. I was told at one point, because I did inquire, of course.
Yeah.
After we deal with you, we'll deal with her. Like.
Do you think that they were going to get to her? Like once they were probably hoping you'd say yes, do you think they were going to get to her, or do you think there was a chance that she was not going to be brought back regardless?
I don't know.
Wow.
But I don't see why we just could not have done things the way we did them before, you know, where we do the deals together. So
that's how it's always been.
It was like that the last time.
Okay.
In NXT, she was signed first, maybe at the end of 2019, and I came in 2020.
Okay.
So.
And so in the process of you not, you know, accepting and then rescinding, does anyone reach out to you between, say, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday when you put out that video? Does anyone say, hey, let's figure this out, man? Like, okay, we're at an impasse. You get another call, you get another email, a text. Does anyone reach out to you in that period?
No.
Wow.
No.
Did that surprise you?
Well, I tried not to invent a hopeful scenario in my head, but a little bit. Like I said, like I wanted to continue the dialogue. It was strange. A lot of this is strange to me.
I'm quite honestly blown away by all of this. And I'm still kind of wondering, I don't want to disrespect you, but, you know, wrestling is, and I see you're very sincere, and I can even kind of tell that you're like, dare I say, a little bit hurt by all this. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unexpected. It's unexpected. I'm not sure I had a high level of expectation, but just any time I've ever gotten on board with the company hasn't quite been like this in terms of communication. So, and I just feel like there's still so much more to talk about. I feel like there's more to explore here. So it's just strange.
Since you put out the YouTube video Sunday night, did you hear anything from anyone?
Anyone
in the company? Sorry.
Friends in the company. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But higher ups, brass, people who would say
no,
nothing.
No.
Did that surprise you? Did you think, okay, once this comes out and I kind of peel it all back, someone's going to reach out?
I didn't necessarily think the timing of anyone wanting to talk to me would have anything to do with that. There's nothing derogatory or disparaging in that, like that would create any sort of concern. It's more just documenting how SummerSlam went, and
right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's break this down, right? So if you want to watch the full interview, check it out. Link is in the description for the Ariel Helwani show with Karrion Kross basically talking about his experience, what he's been going through, and how the fans are supporting him. If you also want to go check out the documentary that Killer Kross dropped on his YouTube page, link is also in the description. Go check that out as well. Excuse me, it's my throat's a bit dry. But with that being said, like, again, my thoughts is, like, right place, bad time. Because WWE is the place that every wrestler ultimately aspires to go to. I understand that AEW is dominating, or they have their talent over there. Kenny Omega, Okada, like, they haven't come to the WWE because they want to do their own thing. That's fine. That's totally acceptable. Some people, it's not everybody's dream, right? But ultimately, a lot of wrestlers became wrestlers because of WWE, because of WCW, because of all the stuff that they've seen growing up. It sucks because Killer Kross is genuine. It's like I'll be real with you. I would have loved to see Killer Kross versus Aleister Black in the main in SmackDown or in WWE. In the main roster, because I think that would be a tremendous match. Both of their styles just look like they work well hand in hand together, right? But I ultimately do think what would be best for like Killer is if he goes to New Japan or if he goes to AEW. I feel like his style of wrestling would fit in perfectly in Japan. I feel like he would make a name for himself. I feel like he could potentially be the next leader of the Bullet Club. Who hasn't been viral in such a long time. I don't remember the last time the Bullet Club faction was making waves like they did about like 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. If Killer Kross goes over there and takes over that faction with the amount of push that he has, it could do what it did for Cody in a sense, where it revived his career and it made Cody who he is today. Because Killer Kross, it's clear that he's genuine. He likes to be the heel, but he can also feed into being like a baby face. And from everything that's like dropped recently, it's hard for fans not to get behind him because like Paul Heyman said, if you want to check out that interview, I don't have the link, but check it out on Ariel Helwani's show. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel first. But he's like Stone Cold, where people can relate to him in a way that, like, he's just like he works hard. He's like he'll be a good soldier. He'll do what you're asking him to do, but like he's not getting rewarded. And the fact that like his contract was done directly with Triple H the first time, and this time they don't even want to have a conversation with him. I feel like it's taken a lot of the joy out of him being a part of the WWE, ultimately like putting on the performances. I understand he was a professional at SummerSlam, but that match with Sami Zayn at SummerSlam, it felt like it was missing a lot of heart, and you could tell there was something off, and that is why, in my honest opinion, that was the worst match of SummerSlam. Killer said his goodbyes to the fans, and he did his job. He did his job as a heel, but it just sucks that his dream, although it has rewarded him in the lifestyle that he's been able to provide, and he wants to stay, it just looks like WWE can't afford to give him that push just because of how saturated right now the main event scene is. And it's similar to Ludwig Kaiser, who has now struck gold with El Grande Americano, literally buying into that persona, doing it much better, in my honest opinion, than Chad Gable. But Kaiser was essentially written off TV, and they didn't have anything for him, right? It's just all these little things, like for example, I think the Street Profits, they haven't necessarily been a featured thing on tag team on TV for a while, and I know that's just the tag team division. And I know there's been a calling for Montez Ford to get a push, but at the same time, where are they going to put him? They're trying right now to push Sami Zayn. They also have LA Knight that fans are also clamoring to get a fucking push. There's so many superstars right now that they could push, but it's just so saturated and crowded, and that's why I feel so bad for Killer Kross and Scarlett, and that's why I think they should go to New Japan, take over the Bullet Club, dominate over there, and make their way back to the WWE eventually as a main eventer, established superstar. Or AEW. I also think he would be a killer attraction. Get it, killer, at AEW. And just revive that brand, because I know that brand, regardless of whatever they say, they could use a nice dose of Killer Kross. That's my thoughts. We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, after these messages.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So, Dana White was on the Pat McAfee show earlier this week to discuss the big move, UFC leaving ESPN for Paramount Plus in a 7-year, $7.7 billion deal that essentially takes away their pay-per-view model. And now we get basically Paramount Plus streaming UFC's main events or UFC's big cards for $13.99 right now, which I'm assuming is going to go up to like $15 or $16.99 a month. And yeah, we're going to actually watch Dana White break it down in this interview that he had with Pat McAfee right here, right now. Let's do this, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man who, I don't know his official title, we just assume runs UFC. President, CEO, super duper boss, a man who's smoking a cigar in his IG story today saying, it's going to be a good day. You're damn right, ladies and gentlemen. Dana White. Congratulations.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
No problem. I like the TKO group shirts. Hey, I like what we're doing here, okay? Obviously, WWE gets massive deal done with ESPN. UFC gets huge deal done here with Paramount Plus. And Skydance, I believe it's P-Sky, is their particular public trading thing. Well, how's this come together, Dana? This is a huge swing by Paramount to get into sports full-time. How pumped were you that they were a part of this? And, is this where you thought you were going to end up at like a month ago?
I agree with everything you just said. And yes, we've been going through the process. No, I didn't think this is where we would end up, but this is sort of how it played out. I love it. These guys are obviously very smart guys, very aggressive. And when you think about streaming, right? Streaming's incredible. When they drop a great show, problem with the whole services, I can watch it tonight or I can watch it 2 years from now. Live sports is going to be a big deal, with all these streaming services. And, we're going to play a big part in it. And when you look at Paramount Plus, right? This new deal that we're going into, you get to watch all the UFC programming on there. No pay-per-view anymore. It's $13 or whatever it is, and you get everything. Plus, these guys have South Park, Yellowstone. I've been talking about Mobland now.
It's unreal. Tom Cruise. They got Tom Cruise. Just all of Tom Cruise as well, brother.
Tulsa King. I mean, the list goes on and on of all content that they have. Great shows. So now you get, all the UFC content plus, all this other great content too, TV shows, and they have much bigger plans ahead, and we are very aligned with them, and I'm excited to be in business with the Ellisons.
We're very excited that they're getting into sports in the way that they are. Dad, Larry, I believe, he paid, $100 million for that kid to go play quarterback in Michigan? He just got the $100 million. They getting a boy now running Paramount Plus. I'm excited they're getting into sports in the way that they are, and Skydance, I think, has a deal with the NFL to make movies about sports, so I appreciate you trailblazing into the sports world and continuing to keep it moving there. Now, this is for all U.S. events, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, this is just for U.S., so we'll still go out and cut different deals, in different territories. But, when you get in business with a global sport like us, I mean, I'm sure they have plans. We haven't got that far yet, but plans to go into other countries too.
Let's talk about the pay-per-view model being done here for you. Usually these streaming services, as they're gathering an audience, try to host a big event to draw people in, and then they hope their shit keeps them there. Okay, we're gonna have a big event, and then we'll keep our shit. Now Netflix has been building since the beginning. They're a blockbuster, so they got everybody. Everybody else has to have these live events to bring people in. Amazon was doing it with like music. I think they're having like big concerts. Then they got into the NFL. Now they're getting into sports. ESPN Plus, UFC, other pay-per-views. They get in there to have these events. So with Paramount Plus saying, hey, we just want people to be subscribers and enjoy it, they have to have a pretty big audience base already, I would assume. And how do you view this? Do you think it's going to be a success, and how everybody else is going to end up doing it in this particular world?
Yeah, I think that, I think all these streaming services, no matter who they are, have to be involved in live sports. Any type of sport, you have to watch it live. Nobody's going to watch a taped or delayed, sporting event. So, yeah, I think they all have to have it. And, it's going to be fun because, you know, there's all these disruptors in business right now. You know, when you think about us growing up, I never thought taxi cabs would go away, or, you know, cable television would crumble and go away. It's fascinating to see all, and, you know, we're always on the top of new technology and trying new things. You know, I left DirecTV and went to ESPN Plus. And, you know, when you make these decisions, it's scary at the time, but one of the greatest decisions I ever made. My relationship with ESPN over the last 7 years has been amazing. You know, we had our bumps and bruises in the beginning of figuring out how to work with each other. And it's been great. I have nothing but amazing relationships with ESPN. They help take us to this next level. So, and Fox before them and Spike TV before them.
Our Spike TV days. Oh, yeah. Ooh, what a run they had. Now's not the time. Paramount Plus doing great. Spike TV had a late night Spike used to be.
Slam ball.
Hey, thank you for getting me through a lot of parts of my life, Spike TV. Speaking of your ESPN relationship, the 9th season of Dana White's Contender Series debuts tomorrow night exclusively on ESPN Plus. Yeah, let's go. 9 seasons.
I love the show. I'm actually in Miami right now. I'm moving my daughter into school down here. She's going to the U. And yeah, we're excited. And moving her into school. Then I fly back tomorrow for the Contender Series. The greatest show on television. Right. I love the Contender Series, and I'm looking very forward to this next season.
Also, the Contender Series is TV contracts are up in the next. I'm joking. Speaking of this Paramount Plus deal, $13 for an entire month. Going to get one of the biggest fights in the cards of all time. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Dana, obviously the fight this weekend is a massive one, DDP and Kamzat. What are you expecting? Obviously, the fight this weekend is a massive one, DDP and Kamzat. What are you expecting from the card this upcoming weekend, and how is Chicago as a whole when it comes to a venue?
Awesome. You know, we haven't been to Chicago since pre-COVID, so it's going to get back. Card sold out. Main event is badass. That's going to be a fun fight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Chicago, too. I'm keto right now. I'm probably going to jump off keto for a couple days when I get to Chicago.
Oh, no, I think if you jump off a couple days, have maybe a little bit of that lasagna.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the
Gentlemen,
people.
technical difficulties.
Shady Mob
I was
Production
actually
is an
checking
official
to see
affiliate of HBO Max.
If
Click on
Dana
the link in the
White's
description and sign up so you can watch and series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of
was
Dragons.
also moving.
Also,
from
don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
But actually,
You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content rocks. Now, let's kick it.
again, technical difficulties. No, but basically, this is huge because even though UFC has been on ESPN, we still need to basically pay the premium price for the events, right? So you have to have ESPN Plus, and then you still got to pay like another $29, I think, or $99. Like, these prices for the UFC pay-per-views are fucking insane. They're not set. Like, they'll charge, I think, $30 or $29.99. I think a couple have been $69.99, $79.99. So the fact that now that's going away, right? We get to watch these fights on Paramount Plus for $13.99 a month. Which would essentially probably go up to like $15.99 a month. And this is huge for Paramount Plus because they're adding to their sports portfolio. They're not just going to have the UEFA Champions League. I think they also do some, I think they do the Italian League as well. But now they also got the UFC, and not just anything. They got the UFC like main events, the pay-per-views, right? And I'm excited. We're gonna read this article from ESPN, which basically talks about the deal, where UFC ends up going to Paramount Plus. So. There we go. Paramount TKO Group reached 7-year deal for all UFC events in the U.S. Paramount will become the new home to Ultimate Fighting Championship events in the U.S. Under a 7-year agreement with TKO Group announced Monday. The deal has an average annual value of $1.1 billion, the company said. Under the deal, Paramount will exclusively distribute the UFC full slate of its 13 marquee numbered events and 30 fight nights on its streaming platforms. Paramount Plus with selected numbered events also set to simulcast on CBS starting in 2026. Oh, that's cool. So I'm assuming fight nights are going to be streaming on CBS from time to time, which is great. That's actually that brings it to the normal cable provider. This deal puts UFC amongst the biggest sports in the world. UFC CEO Dana White posted on X the exposure provided by Paramount and CBS networks under this new structure is a huge win for our athletes, anyone who watches and loves this sport beyond. It's a shift away from the UFC's existing pay-per-view model, which Paramount and TKO say will allow the mixed martial arts programming to reach more consumers nationwide. Paramount's advantage lies in the expansive reach of our linear and streaming platforms, David Ellison, chairman and CEO of Paramount, said in a statement. Live sports continue to be a cornerstone of our broadcast strategy, driving engagement, subscriber growth, and long-term loyalty, and addition of UFC's year-round must-watch events to our platforms in a major win. Mark Shapiro, president and COO of TKO, added that the deal will mean deeper engagement for UFC's passionate fan base and that its athletes will love this new stage. UFC events currently air on ESPN, which has offered tiered pricing for fans to view content across the sports network's TV offerings and streaming platforms, ESPN Plus, since 2019. UFC's partnership with Disney-owned ESPN runs through the end of 2025. Paramount said it intends to explore UFC rights outside the U.S. as they become available in the future. The news comes just days after Skydance and Paramount officially closed their $8 billion merger. Aside from the UFC, TKO also houses the WWE and has been actively working out deals for the sports entertainment company. Last week, Disney announced an agreement with WWE that will see its premium live events like WrestleMania streamed by ESPN starting in 2026. So, this is big for us, the consumer. I actually already have Paramount Plus, so it's not an extra cost. Well, I hope it's not going to be. It's probably going to go up in price. I'm going to have to get the new ESPN streaming platform because I don't know if it'll still be ESPN Plus or what that's going to look like. They need to do like some sort of bundle deal between HBO, HBO, Disney, and Paramount Plus. Just do a fucking merger like that. And we'll all be happy and we'll all be winning. But this is actually huge, and I'm excited for what's to come. No more days of going to Dave & Buster's to watch big events anymore. I remember that's what I used to do back in the day because they would always have the big events playing. So me and my buddies, we just go to Dave & Buster's and watch the fights while they were going on. It'd be fun. Now I get to watch them at home and just stream them. But yeah, we'll actually be right back after these messages, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back, and we're actually going to be talking about the Cleveland Browns QB Conundrum. It is reported Shedeur Sanders has an oblique injury, and after what came out this week? Excuse me. It should be better now. So yeah, no, the Shedeur Sanders QB Conundrum. After the injury came out, even before the injury came out, he was still listed 4th on the depth chart, and I'm actually getting tired of the media doing Shedeur Sanders a disservice by demanding he either be the starter or he move up in the depth chart. Number one, it was his first NFL action, right? And it was a preseason game, not against the Carolina Panthers, who didn't even send out their starters or sent out some of their starters. He was 13 of 24. The one thing I took away was that he can play off script and that he has the agility and movement that is needed in today's NFL from a quarterback. But with that being said, he missed easy throws to wide open receivers, running backs. His accuracy isn't there. And when he does get put out there with the ones from another team, from a competent team, he's still not prepared to handle that. Guys, Shedeur Sanders, in my eyes, was a 3rd to 4th round pick. And Shedeur Sanders this year, I don't think he would be ready until literally week 10. Week 10 moving forward, after you've given Dillon Gabriel, who in my honest opinion, from all the reports that have also come out, yes, I understand he hasn't looked spectacular, but he is, in my honest opinion, NFL ready. He's played a lot of football. I feel like in live reps, live action, he might give you something. But because of his draft stock, he should be ahead of Shedeur. He should be ahead of Shedeur, and he should start ahead of Shedeur. Because if he sinks or if he swims, regardless of whatever happens, you'll know if Shedeur, you'll see if Shedeur gets his opportunity. If Dillon Gabriel goes out there and stinks it up like a lot of people think he's going to go out there and do, then you can then move on to Shedeur Sanders if Joe Flacco's not the guy. Now, the issue is you also got Deshaun Watson lurking in the fucking background, who they have paid a lot of money to be their quarterback. And I understand the coaching staff has given up on them. Essentially, the team has given up on Deshaun. But he has apparently come out there, thrown the ball, and looked good. And it seems like he's going to be putting pressure on the Browns to make a decision on when he comes back. Because I don't think they're going to have him placed on the injured reserve list for the entire season. So, with all these factors coming in, I know a lot of people think Shedeur is going to be that guy, but he's not ready. And literally putting him out there week 1 against the Bengals and putting him out there this soon, this early on, is a disservice to him. And I am tired of the NFL media going out there, giving him his praises. After one preseason game against the 3s and 4s, or against the 2s and 3s and 4s, after he really didn't have that great of a game. Yes, he got 2 touchdowns, didn't throw a pick, and had 138 yards. However, on some pretty easy stuff, he was atrocious, and he didn't hit his target. And he had time in the pocket to throw, and he basically, there was times where he would move out of it and throw the ball when he didn't need to. But there was also times where he showed his poise and he would show that he could stay in the pocket and make the throw. Let him develop, and I swear to you, by the middle of the season, after all other options have failed, you go to Shedeur Sanders and you see what he has, but you give him the opportunity to develop, hone his skills, and progress. Send Joe Flacco out there week 1, Trade Kenny Pickett at some point because I don't think he'll be a solution. Start Dylan Gabriel at some point. Let's see if he can sink or swim because of his size and the fact that he's already been injured. There's a good probability that he might get injured during the season, and not ever wishing anybody any harm or any injuries. But from multiple like pro athletes that have said, you go into the season hurt, you tend to stay hurt, right? And because of his size and those factors, I think Dylan Gabriel goes into the season hurt, and Shedeur gets an opportunity. Maybe they don't go to Shedeur, maybe they go to Deshaun, who is seemingly trying to put pressure on them to make some sort of decision on whether he's going to be on the roster or not. I'm of the mindset, don't set up Shedeur for failure, because that's what I feel like a lot of people are doing, and just let Shedeur develop, mature, learn the system, because in college he played 2 years at Jackson State. He played his third year at Colorado. Wasn't that impressive, in my honest opinion. Was atrocious, especially when Travis Hunter went out. And I know they put it a lot on the offensive line. And then the following year, when they upgraded the offensive line, he still wasn't spectacular, where I thought he was a third or fourth round pick. I didn't see him as a first round or a second round pick. Mainly just like I felt like he was using his name to become a first or second round pick. But a third or fourth round pick is where he was, in my opinion. He fell to the fifth round, and now he's earning it. Now he's earning his opportunity. And I just think they need to give him time to mature and develop. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone with your favorite host, King NPV. I appreciate you guys for being here. Always remember, desire is power. Please hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. I'll drop a comment so I can know if you agree or disagree with my takes. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for more.
blaming me. You've been blaming me. You've been blaming me. Ooh.